Romeo Lavia has issued an injury update on social media ahead of Chelsea's clash against Tottenham. The 19-year-old midfielder, who joined the Blues from Southampton late into the summer transfer window, has been nursing an ankle issue since he arrived at Stamford Bridge, and he's still yet to even make his debut. According to widespread reports last month, Lavia was dealt a major setback on his road to recovery, pushing his return date back to late November. It said that the Belgium international began his rehabilitation program at Cobham Training Ground at the start of October after he was able to take off his protective boot. The Mail Online later claimed that a return this month is viewed as optimistic, with the West Londoners cautious of rushing him back ahead of schedule. In fact, after Chelsea's win over Burnley just before the international break, Mauricio Pochettino hinted that the teenager faces an extended period on the sidelines. "I cannot tell you when he will be back, but he is still not running," said the former Spurs manager. "After the international break, he will not be back." Determined to finally make his long-awaited debut for his new club, Lavia has been put through his paces by his personal trainer, RK Performance. On Instagram, the Chelsea ace reposted an image of himself completing an exercise in his Blues training gear. If for whatever reason Lavia doesn't return to first-team action until December, then he'll miss some big games for Chelsea in November. On November 6th, Monday night, the Blues lock horns with Tottenham before facing his former side Manchester City just a week later. Then on November 25th, Chelsea will play Newcastle United at St. James Park before heading to the South Coast for a clash against Brighton. Just days later on December 6th, the West Londoners face Manchester United at Old Trafford, so Pochettino will be desperate to welcome Lavia back for the tough run of fixtures on the horizon. Chelsea and Arsenal have been given the biggest incentive yet to signing Ivan Toney in January after his former owner claimed that both clubs had missed huge chances to buy the player last summer. With just over 2 months left until he is eligible for selection, once more the clock is ticking until an expected move. Toney was one of the best performers in the league last season, scoring 20 goals in 33 starts. Only Harry Kane and Erling Haaland managed more than the 27-year-old, but it was his eventual ban from football that meant he remained with Brentford for at least 6 months more. It had been thought that Chelsea and Arsenal would act over the summer to try to buy the player after his stellar campaign, leading Thomas Frank's side to a 9th-place finish, scoring over a third of the team's goals. This year they have found it harder to match the form that came alongside Toney's involvement, but there was a standout victory over Chelsea, ironically, last time out. Now the attention is really starting to turn towards Toney with the January window less than 8 weeks away, and both the Blues and the Gunners finding problems up front. Arsenal have seen Gabriel Jesus ruled out for a number of weeks for the second time since August, though Eddie Nketiah has continued to improve his record and scored a hat-trick against Sheffield United last weekend. Chelsea, on the other hand, are the league's second biggest underachievers when it comes to goals, having scored 6.23 less than their expected goals. XG suggests only Everton, on a staggering 8.39 below expectation, have been more profligate in front of goal. Arsenal are actually outperforming the metric so far, having scored 23 from an XG of 19.89, only marginally better more than Chelsea, who have fired in just 13 in 10 games. Chelsea have identified Napoli striker Victor Osimhen as their priority option amid the search for a striker to solve their goal-scoring woes, according to Calciomercato. Mauricio Pochettino's side want to land a number 9 and are exploring a number of options across Europe, but it is reported that the 24-year-old Nigeria international would be a dream signing. The Premier League side signed Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal in the summer, but, with the 22-year-old having scored just 2 goals in 9 games, it looks as though Chelsea are prioritizing attacking reinforcements when the January window opens. Osimhen's contract at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium is set to expire in the summer of 2025, and recent reports indicated that little progress had been made over an extension. That could play into Chelsea's hands if they make a move for him, while they are also looking to offload Romelu Lukaku, currently on loan at AS Roma, on a permanent basis. The Blues are hoping any transfer fee received from such a deal will then be able to go towards meeting Osimhen's transfer fee of around €120 million. The Napoli frontman has maintained his form in Serie A this season, where he has scored 6 goals in 8 league appearances. Osimhen has played down suggestions he wants to leave Napoli after his relationship with the club has become frayed. The Nigerian is said to have considered taking legal action against the Italians champions after a video was published last month making fun of the Nigerian after a penalty miss against Bologna. However, he remained coy on a potential exit. "I am happy at Napoli," Osimhen explained in an interview on Twitch with former Italy internationals Emiliano Viviano and Mario Balotelli. "People don't know how difficult it is to play in Serie A. From a tactical and physical point of view, it's one of the most difficult leagues to play in. Chelsea are in desperate need of Christopher Nkunku making his return from injury after their goal-scoring woes were brutally exposed over the weekend once again. The Blues flew out of the blocks against Brentford at Stamford Bridge on Saturday with Cole Palmer creating a countless number of chances, however none of them were converted. In the second half, the Bees were able to gain more control with Ethan Pinnock heading home in the 53rd minute to give the visitors the lead. Given how the first period elapsed, scoring against an organized Brentford team who had something to defend was always going to be a challenge, and that was proven by a toothless final quarter with Brian Mbeumo adding a second in the final stages. Having watched on from the side, Pochettino will likely be eagerly awaiting the return of Nkunku, with the Chelsea boss able to provide an update on his recovery after fans went into a frenzy from seeing him in full training gear. "He is doing really, really well. He is working really hard," Pochettino revealed on Friday on his pre-match press conference. "I think he is really close. I hope as soon as possible we can have him involved again. He is an important player for us. Maybe after the next international he will be involved. Maybe, it's not sure." On what Nkunku will bring, he added, "I think he was the player. When you see the goals scored last season, he is a player that can provide goals, and I think we are missing goals. That is why always we think it's a player that can be important for us. He proved he can score goals in a league like Bundesliga, and we have a different offensive player. Today, with maybe 8 to 10 goals from Nkunku, this situation is completely different because they are the goals we are missing to be in a different position. Yes, unlucky, but we cannot complain. We need to work. Things can happen. Moving forward to recover him and to see if it is possible to help the team score more goals and to be in a different position in the table." The opinion of Pochettino is also reflected elsewhere, with former Premier League footballer Xhaka Hislop expecting the comeback of the France international to transform the Blues.